Morning, peeps. I think you had a big break pre-market here. Could come back to retest, currently consolidating. It's a break retest downside now. If it breaks this low consolidation here at $49, it'll be short. We'll target the open low of this candle here, so it'd be 252 and 49. Again, it come back to retest this pivot right here on the 30-minute. It can eat that whole candle up. Who knows? Short right this second. So let me fix these screens right quick, and then we'll go from there. Netflix had a big sell-off yesterday after earnings. We'll pull that up in a second too. The target on the NQ here was the open and low this candle here. We'll wait the next break on it. Still bullish here, just chopping before market opens up. Let's pull up the 4-hour right quick. Here's 4-hour on NQ, and SPY look basically the same thing. It's sitting around that pivot right this second. It's failed to make a new high here just yet. We're inside. This right here is a measure move candle. We're up in the top 10-20% range. It's going to be a 2-1. So it's just a consolidation for the next leg up. If it decides to break out, it needs to break this wick right here. We can see it push back up. Again, remember, it does a few things when it comes to this pivot here. If it comes up and fails by 1 cent, automatically makes it bearish. It can pull back for pushing back up, be a cup and a handle. It can break it, so it can pick up here, trapping buyers, running stops, only to come right back down. Ideally, you want to see it push up. You want to see a pullback to the top side. It can come back to retest this pivot before pushing on up. So a few different things. On the way back up, we know direction. When it gets close to the pivot, we got to be kind of careful here because it can do a few different things. It can continue reverse. There's clues in there that give us direction. So that pivot is a major resistance level. That's why we see it bouncing right now. It's touching the 60. So on the 60 minutes, a break retest. Anything it takes out, guys, anything it takes out 14,298 will continue to go higher. Same thing with anything that breaks yesterday's high will be long instantly. Amazon finished the day up, but let's take a look at Netflix real quick. Netflix gap down here. It can continue to gap. It's been a pretty good sell-off automatically. All right, watching NQ here. If it breaks 41, it'll be short instantly. Netflix breaks the day's low, it'll be short instantly as well. So 244 will be a short signal on this thing. Remember, it's already been in trouble. It gapped down for a reason. NVIDIA is short here. We're going to target gap fill. Actually, first target's pivot and then gap fill. A lot of stuff gapped this morning. Now, Facebook had a gap down right here, guys. A lot of these tickers that's really strong, they fill this gap instantly. So Facebook here is one to keep an eye on. If it breaks the day's high anytime, it'll be long instantly. Target 50% gap fill, then pivot, right? This thing's been pushing up. These gap downs on these strong tickers are the ones you need to watch out for. They can really make a big push up. Roku's going to be long right this second. We'll target 50% gap fill. It's one of the first ones to break to start filling gap. MNQ's long right this second, guys. Or NQ. Sorry, I got MNQ up on the side screen here. Facebook is long. Ford is long. Now the big low NQ is at 298 level. Netflix is going short. Here. Anything gapped up this morning, pushing up here. Oh shit, that was a monster. It's a 212 measure move weekly. A bit too late to hop in it. All right, NQ breaks low to be short here. Zoom is short now. A lot of the market's ripping down. Netflix is short. NQ short again right this second. Gonna be short again under 224. The can see 198, 14198 short again right now, guys. Every time it pops down here, I'm looking for levels of a support level. You're gonna be short again right now. Every time it pulls back and breaks the downside, you're gonna short it. So look, see it pulling back in itself. As soon as it takes the low out, it's short. All right. Every time it's short. Every time it pulls down and breaks low a day, it's short. Every single time, even though it's the first candle. Target's gonna be pivot here, sitting right at the pivot right this second. That pivot is a support level. All right. The next target's gonna be here. Short again. Should be scalping it. Netflix is short. NQ short again there. It's eating that big green candle. If we look right here on NQ, this right here is a compound too. That's one big ass green candle to here. All right, NQ will be short again if it breaks the low of this candle. Right now, this candle here is opened up inside. It's an inside candle. It's a rest. All right. Also, it's a higher low. If we break this candle here, we'll target 75%, and then they open the candle. All right. So entry is going to be over the high of this candle or the low of this red candle here, right here. There's your two entries. Bob, a huge sell-off. So did we was yesterday a green day in a downtrend? I don't know. I can tell you this, NQ short right this second. Every time it pulls back, remember, it's short again. Every time it pulls back down, pull back down, it's short. Every time it does this. Every time it does this. Okay? All we're doing is taking this lows here, here, here. All right. Next target's going to be pivot. There is a target here, right on these candles. That's the support level. These candles right here. It's a target as well. Now look, if this thing comes down and it fails to make a new low, right? Because we're double bottom here. If it comes up and it fails to touch it by 1 penny, it makes it bullish automatically. We can shoot right back up the top. So right here, if we drew this line across, this thing came up. It failed to make a new high. All right, automatically making it bearish. This right here is consolidation. I'm showing this, but it applies to every ticker. It's the same strategy for every damn thing. Right here's consolidation. It breaks consolidation and retests it and then sells back up. It's short under the wave, all right, under the bottom. All right. It's also doing this. First off, every bit of this right here is a consolidation or a sideways move. It's a literal, it's all sideways. Now we can trade this range because there's enough room in here. You can make all kinds of money. Now, you really want it to be clean too. This is pretty clean. Right? And one of the reasons we get these big drops because this right here is a huge candle. The price action is super clean. If I brought the TPO profile up, this right here, this area here would be concave because there's not much buying and selling going on there. There's not many places where price can be stopped. Right through here, if we come back up and we come back through this garbage here, price can do whatever it wants to do. It can bounce, stop, reverse, continue, it can do whatever. Through here, it's really clean. So we get this big sell-off here. If this thing consolidates and starts to pick back up, it's a really clean trade to here. It's one big red candle. And technically, it's red to here. Netflix gonna be short again right here. Still coming down. Costco's long here. Costco could see 612. Lulu's filled that gap, starting to push back up here. If it breaks 411, it'd be a good spot to add to it. Now we look at MNQ here. We can see this big green candle on the 60. All right, so first off, there's a high here. It's failed. It's a lower high. There's expansion. All right. This right here is a consolidation. It breaks, will target the open low of that candle. Now, you can draw a trend line there. All right. Every time it came down, it made a higher low here. That's bullish. Every time it comes down here, there's a support level, and it gets higher and higher and higher each time. All right. So this thing can pop back up just as fast as it comes down. Now, look, if it starts to break these wicks here, it breaks these wicks, this damn thing can come right back down to 14,042. This right here is a big green candle. All right. Down here, we start to chop. Okay. This is places where price can stop, hesitate, bounce. All right. NQ is going to be short again on a lower day. It's short right this second. Let's see if we can get a breakout here. Again, it can come back to 14,042. It's short right now, guys. Tesla's short. Netflix still down. I hope you got you a piece of Netflix, guys. Ford's still pumping up as well. And next time it breaks high, data be long again. There's Netflix down 11 points since open. So that's been a good short right there. Amazon's fixing to be the next one to go short here. NQ's going to be short again under low a day. So it's short again right this second, guys. Amazon's break retest. It's making higher lows here, but lower. It's making lower highs, but higher lows. It needs to take out the low. So it's the same strategy with Amazon. Now I'm looking at the 60. It can come back to retest that 60 and bounce back up. It's going to be short on a lower day. Amazon will be short right this second. So it's the same strategy, same setup, no difference. Same exact setup. The retest gives you confirmation of downtrend or uptrend. If you want confirmation, put on a retest. NQ short, guys, get you some. It's a big ass move happening. Unfortunately, I can't take advantage of it, but my money's been made already. Gonna get one back up. We're gonna target 144 now on NQ. Come on, light my fire. All right. Same setup here. Let me show you this. There's a few different things that can happen here, guys. We know that this pivot is a magnet. We can't come back up to it. Right now, anytime we're still waiting, every time it takes the low out, you can come back down, right? It's going to be short under the wick. We're waiting on the wick. Or the break of the wick, you'll be short instantly. This thing can come down, consolidate, come back up to retest this pivot. And when it gets to pivot, it don't matter which pivot it is, we play them the same way. The target's going to be the pivot. Now, when it gets close to it, let me short right here. When it gets close to the pivot, NQ short again. When it gets close to it, it can reject and reverse. All right, when it gets close. Sometimes it'll touch it exactly and reverse. Sometimes it'll wick through. NQ short again here, guys. Holy shit. All right, there's the first target met. Again, the next target's going to be pivot 60. We'll come back to pivots in a second. But I want to teach you or tell you how price reacts around these pivots. It's important. It don't matter which direction. They react the same. It's important to know it. Amazon's still coming down. The video went short. Tesla's short right this second. Nevic's still coming down. There's that target right there on MQ. When I say it hit target, that's when it gets close. Okay. And there's a reason, because the way price reacts around the pivots. If it comes down, remember, if it comes down, it fails to touch this pivot by 1 cent. It's bullish. All right. Sometimes it'll come down and touch it exactly in reverse. NQ short again here. All right. Sometimes it'll wick through a little bit and then push back up. NQ short again, guys. That's a big ass candle picking up volume. Damn, we've been fucking killing NQ. NQ's our bitch. Next target on NQ is going to be 14,080. You take profits along the way. We're sitting right here on this pivot. That pivot is a support level. So price can get close, reverse. Price can touch it, reverse. Price can break through a little bit in reverse. All right. If it's going to continue lower, we want to see it pull back, retest it, and push on down. Okay. There's the first 15-minute candle of the day. All right. So it expanded the range. Now we can turn around and go back up. We don't know. We wait. All right, we wait. I can tell you this. That's one big ass candle right there. So wait. All right. So anyway, price is going to continue. We want to see it retest, and this is kind of what it's doing right now. It's retesting, trying to push back down. Anytime it breaks the day's low or the current candle's low, it'll be short. And because we're coming back to a little bit of chop here, this is chop. We're going to target individual candles and their wicks. All right, and the strongest support levels. That's support. This wick here is support, and then the pivot itself is support. Now, when trading options, when I'm trading options on regular tickers, when they get close to a pivot, I'm going to take profits. I want to sell in a strength. All right. I want to sell it as it's pushing up, not when it touches the pivot. I want to sell it before it gets there. Now, with futures, it's different. You can scalp it all the way up, all the way down, take profits along the way. All right. Your money's right back in there to trade again. NQ is going to be short in just a split second. We're going to target, our target's 14,066, but we're going to target individual levels of support. Okay. So it's all about this wave. This wave is everything. Remember, it's doing this now. It's pulled up. As soon as it breaks the low of this candle here, it'll be short. Now we'll go to 5 minute. I like a 5 minute because I got more candles to look at. So I got a larger picture. I can decipher exactly what's going on inside that one single candle there. Sounds like money to me. NQ, of course, it just ran. It just made a big ass move here. Of course, it needs a rest. And short it as soon as it breaks this current candle's low, it'll be short instantly. Short right now. Well, the market's starting to pull back up here. Holy shit, I hope you got some Netflix, guys. Make sure you're dragging your stop down. Get a little room. This thing can continue to die off here. Amazon's going to be short again right this second. If Tesla breaks the day's low, you can go short or add to it. We're getting a pullback on it currently. All right, NQ is supposed to go short again right this second. You can see 614.066, then 14.042 next, guys. Big breakdown here. All right. I hope you pulled your money out. Next time, we're going to wait on this pullback here. As soon as it breaks current candle's low, to be short again. All right. So it needs to take 14.10125. Now remember, this thing just ran from here down to here. All right. Volume did increase because the candles are getting larger. We need to see a consolidation or a chop. Now, every time that pulls back in itself, that is a consolidation. So look here, when this thing opens up and pulls back in itself, this is a consolidation. That's healthy. You want to see it right here between these two wicks. Between these two wicks here is a consolidation. All right, guys, if we take this wick right here out, it'll be long. If we take the low out, it'll be short. All right, remember, it can come right back up to retest this pivot. We talked about it earlier. The first target's going to be 50% of this candle, and then the pivot. And right now, this candle's inside. It's a higher low and a lower high. It's a consolidation or chop. It's a rest. If it breaks this wick, it will be long. We'll target 50%. Now, because this is one big ass red candle, we can come back up just as fast as we went down. If you want to be aggressive, it's long right this second, guys. All right, you'll target the wick. All right, because if it comes up and it fails, it double, even between these two candles here, it's a double top. All right. So you take profits on it, right? And then when it breaks it, you re-enter for the next long. You can break this down. We want to target 50%. You can take profits here. You can take profits at 50%, 75%, and then pivot. Netflix is not stopping, guys. Netflix, no stop inside. So right now we're consolidating. We're literally, this right here is a consolidation or sideways. We're watching for clues in here to give us direction. First off, it looks like this. It's a lower high and a higher low. I'm going to short it right here, target low a day. There's $10. There's 13, 15. Holy shit. I didn't want to tell you how much money I just made right there. I better reduce my quantity. I just bought way too many contracts. I'm glad it worked out. Speechless.
Jerry, when you're speechless, then that's something else.
That's crazy. I made a mistake, but it was a good mistake. This is short here. NVIDIA is short. Amazon's gonna be short as soon as it takes a lower day. NQ is gonna be short again in just a second. Short right now. Dun, 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 dun. Whoo! God, this moves so fast, man. It's crazy. Again here. When this thing pulls back here, we're looking for a this level right here, this wick, as a resistance level. This wick right here. So when it pulls back, I'm looking to see how far it pulls back up against this. So it's just that wave right there. Now right here, we're still making lower highs and lower lows. It's one of the downtrends here. It's starting to wick out down here and at the top. A lot of chop going on. I might close that one. Don't chance it. I don't want to chance it. We know there's support down here because it's starting to wick out near the base. Massive move down. Absolutely massive. If it breaks a low here, it'll be short again. Now, a lot of times I'll cut something and it'll continue to go my direction. I'd rather keep my losses to a minimum. I'm not going to hope it bounces and keeps going. Down. Thank you very much. Look for a break here. It'll continue that lower low. Short here. It's starting to get real wicky down through here, right? Which means chop. Right now we're waiting. If it breaks these wicks here to be long, now there's always an aggressive entry. All right. So if we turn green here, we'll target this level of resistance here. All right, and then the wick. If it breaks these wicks here, we'll target still 50% of this candle. The pivot, the open, the wick, the open, the wick, open, the wick. Right, so we're just shorting entries under the wicks. If I call an entry online on Twitter or wherever, and I say entry 1480, That means when it hits 1480, you enter it right then. Short. So whenever it hits it, you got to, God damn, whenever it hits the entry, you enter immediately. Now you take profits when you feel like it. The reason being is I can't sit there and help you manage it. Crazy. You've got to be able to manage your own trades, and it moves so much. I can give you targets on it, but take profits when you see fit. Now, on a big break like this morning, guys, when it moved, all you're doing is looking for this wave. So it broke consolidation, and when the candle breaks out, every time it pulls back and breaks, you enter. That's your next entry. It breaks out, takes the high, you enter. It pulls back and breaks the high, you enter again and again and again and again. Okay, you can enter this damn thing. If it moved $100 this morning, you can make 200 points. All right. And if you want to be aggressive, you could take that when it starts to push back up, as long as when it pulls back, it's still up in the top 20% of the range of the candle. If it starts to pull back 50% and then come right back up, you want to be more careful because there's a lot of sellers in there. Right, just like these wicks here, they tell you in the last minute or two of the candle that the buyers are starting to pick up here. Now I'm keeping an eye on how long these wicks are. All right, see how they're starting to pick back up. There's buyers stepping in. Just like on green candles, I'm looking at the wicking. I'm looking at the top of the wick. Now see how the candles. Let me move this right here. See how the wicks are getting. It went from small to medium to large, and it's not really large, but it's getting larger. That's telling you sellers are starting to step in the last few minutes of that candle. There's a battle going on, and right here, super wicky. It's a struggle. The good thing is it's still making lower highs and lower lows. We're still in a downtrend here, regardless of wicking. Now we're looking at the 5-minute here, but it's important to look at all time frames. Right on the 4-hour here, this is fucking important. All right, and the weekly. Let's just start the weekly because you really need to work your way back. First off, on the month, right here on that level at 15.2 something, major resistance. Every time it gets close to that, they wicks right back. All right. On the weekly here, we're in a downtrend. All right, we're in a downtrend. First off, it came up here, and it failed to make a new high, making it bearish. All right, so it's this wave. All right, see, it's a lower high. There's a pullback. It breaks down, retest downside. There's a next retest downside. It pushes up. All right, we get a retest at the top side, so it goes long, and all of a sudden it's pushed back down. Now we get another retest at the downside. And on top of that, we're coming back down this big ass green candle. Can it get there? Absolutely. This thing can drop like a rock right down to $1,300 again. Now, right here's a pivot. Right? It's a lower pivot than right here. Right? It's lower. Now, if this comes down and takes out this one, it makes a lower low. It makes a lower pivot. And at that point, we can come back down and target this pivot here. So start the higher time frame, works your way back. This thing was pushing up till it wasn't. It came up here and hit that resistance level and turned around and came right back down. So we go from that to 4-hour right here on the thing right here. There's a pivot right here at 1441, and we can see it better here on the 4-hour. So it's important to be able to decipher each of these time frames to get to currently what's going on. And don't neglect any. The pivot on a higher time frame is a hell of a lot stronger support resistance level than it is on the 5-minute. So right here, right off the bat, this price comes up, and you can't hardly see it, but it's where I say if it's 1 cent less than, thank you short here, it is it's bearish immediately. So it looks like this. It comes up, and even though it's a penny less than, that's a lower high. All right, and it's right there on the pivot. Now it can do this. So it comes up, it pulls back, it can shoot right back up. So what we do is we look down and look for the strongest support level, which is right here on that wick, this random wick here. That's support, and that's a major support because the last time price came down there, it rejected and price reversed. That wick right there, right here. So it's an important level. If that acts as support, we'll see price can turn around and push right back up to 14,300. If it breaks that level, we'll drop like a rock. Now, that big ass candle there will target 50% of it. All right, the open, the low. All right, and what we do is we look down and left. There's another level of support here. All right, so that's going to be a target. And then the pivot. So pivot to pivot is magnitude. It's different for each time frame. That's our ultimate goals because I target pivot to pivot ultimately, but there is individual pivots in between range. Right? Support and the wicks are more important than the bodies because because they're free to roam in range where they open the body of the candles is held to time. It's open and closed. It's based on time. The wicks are not. So when you see something wick and it pushes up and all of a sudden it rejects sharply, that's a damn important level. That's hidden buy orders and sell orders. And I was talking to somebody about a month ago, and they're like, "I enter it on the bodies." I'm like, well, your target's the fucking wick then, because the wick's marking a support resistance level. Now it's okay if it's if that candle or body or is on the higher time frames, that's okay. But the distance has got to be large enough to make money. Guys, I hope you took fucking Netflix. And I highly recommend you put a hard stop on it and drag it down. That's all I can tell you. Netflix, if you just trade options today, made a killing. This thing's moved fucking 28 points from open straight down like a rock. Parabolic. And it's picking up speed. We look at these candles, what are they doing? The bodies are getting larger. The bodies are getting larger and larger as it comes down. All right, that tells you right off the bat, volume is increasing. Now, let's take a look at the higher time frames on it. It's in trouble. This fucking thing can drop to 177 and then 140. In trouble. Now, started noticing it last week that it was cupping and moving down on the daily 4 hour. Major trouble. KO back on Bob Scam. NQ short here. Let's go. Right. KO cupping right here. It's long right now. We talked about this last week. This is the swing, guys, and it gave us a good opportunity to add to it. Right here at $64.80. This right here, let me show you. Here's the wave. The wave is in everything. It's been there forever, and it always will be, and always has been. Right here. Let me draw a little bit cleaner. From the top, it pulls back and shoots right back up. So it's long over this candle here. But again, this right here is consolidation. We don't never guess the bottom, but 25% from the bottom. You buy them, we're going to aim for the top of the wave. Right? And then when it breaks the wave, is another entry. Yes, sir. NQ short again here. Holy shit. Ah. I love it. Yeah. Can't get over. Anyway, there's a wave right there, guys. That wave's and everything. That wave could be one candle. That could be one candle. It could be two candles. It could be three. It could be 30. It could be 100. Now look right here. It's the same wave. It comes up, pulls back, shoots up. All right. Now the market only does two things. It trends or consolidates. There's consolidation. It comes up. It reverses, hits support, comes right back up again. You'll enter the consolidation, not the bottom, but on the way back up. At least price is gonna be at least 25% from the top of the bottom for reversal. You play the top of the range. It comes up, it breaks, retests the top, just keeps on going. Right here's that pullback. What they do? This thing's a beast on the month and the week, just not stopping. So of course, anybody, they're going to buy this dip right here because they want to buy this thing at a discount so they can add to the portfolio. And they buy it, and they buy it quickly. And the target would be the high, and then you see it break the high, pull back to retest, and keeps going. It's just not going to stop. It's just not going to stop. KO's a cheap one too, guys. Netflix still dying. Beast. It's a beast. Up 31 points. Gap and crap. NQ dead cross 5 minute. Yeah. I'm not too big on EMAs and RSI and that these stuff, but you know, if it helps you, I'm not against it by all means. Not against it at all. I can tell you this right here, 5 minute, a lot of choppy chop, a lot of chop. It's still in a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows. We need to see a consolidation if things move 260 points. And on top of that, we look at 60, it's sitting right on top now. Now it expanded the range, and is that important to know? It absolutely is. Right here is expansion. Now this is the 60 minute. Anytime it takes the high of this candle right here out, it'll be long. We'll target 50%, pivot, open, high. Right now they do a few different things. The reason they wick that out just a little bit is because a lot of people, retail, put the stops right on top of this damn pivot. On top of that, it's a bear trap, right? So if you entered that bear trap, first you're stuck. Second, they run pivots, create liquidity, and they take it right back up. They're buying it cheaper. They do it on purpose. And what's weird is a lot of times they'll push it down, and and the next time they come down, they'll put their orders up a little bit higher. They'll come back up. The next time they put up a little bit higher. A little bit higher. They're loading and loading and loading for that breakout. Now, sometimes they'll do it just to run stock for liquidity and they'll start buying it back up. I can tell you this, the longer price consolidates, the bigger the break. If it does break this level, we see a retest on the 5 minute downside, our target will be pivot. And on top of that, we got a big ass green candle here. So we break this pivot here, we can flush to this pivot, we break that pivot, we come down here. Each time frame, each pivot's important. The higher the time frame, the stronger the support resistance level. All right, hands down. It's important to note each of those levels. We're starting to cup right here. We see that major rejection on the on that wick. Right off the bat here, if we break $86, it'll be long. All right, that's that resistance right here. If we break this resistance level, we'll target 102 and then 111. Right here is consolidation. We want to mark, that's a major, right here, that's a major resistance level. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches there. Every bit right here is consolidation. Here's the day's range. Okay, it's a compound too. That's one big ass red candle right there. Now, big pukey down, we get a consolidation. It could be a big pukey up. That's a beautiful thing about big moves. it can happen either way. So in the morning they could just rip, or they could puke, and then later in the day they move right back to it just as quick. Just as quick back to it. Netflix, no stopping sight. Hope you caught some of that, guys. Hope you caught some of that. Multiple ads, plenty of opportunity to hop in there, picking up steam, momentum. This damn thing dying. If it breaks current candle high, it'll be long here. There's 5 hours. It'll be long again over the same candle's high. We'll target 50% of that wick right there. I missed it. Shit. I missed it again. Long, guys. Target 50% and then the wick. There we go. Get my money. Playing with me. I'm watching to see how far back it pulls in itself. So when this thing pulls back here, guys, so this level is the breakout level, and it pulls back in itself. It's holding that support. Well, all right, so it's pulling back as soon as it breaks current candles high. We're still going to target this. This wick here marks a major resistance level, absolute major. So it takes a lot of buying to break through that level. So when price comes up, it can reject it. All right, see it come back to retest that level. That's the breakout. So here, here, here. That's a major support level. If it pulls back, next level support's here. Now this green candle is a higher low. All right. And when it took this candle out here, it made a higher high. So right here, higher high. So it's the first start change of trend. Now, when I'm looking at reversals as opposed to pullbacks or consolidation, first off, it's got to start breaking higher highs and higher lows. It's going to be long again over this candle right here. We're still going to target that wick. That wick right there marks a major resistance level. Yeah. Come on, girl. See if it holds. Right here on these bodies of support. I can't draw it exactly. Right there. Let me draw a line across here. See that wick right there? That's a major resistance. Woo. There we go. Major resistance. So what can happen is pricing come down, touch this level, reject. Now, if it breaks that level, the next level resistance is right here. And again, we can, if it wants to, it can come back up because these pivots are magnet. Retest this pivot. From there, we'll wait and see how price reacts. Either going to continue or we're going to get a break retest back downside. At that point, we'll target the low of day again. Right here. Oh. I want to see how it reacts around this wick here. Come on, come on, come on. BA is long. B8 is long. Still long here. Cancel. Long here. Yeesh. Buy here. Go there. Every time it starts parking back through there, first thing I do is I look for the strongest resistance, the closest resistance here. Right there. It's right above that level there. Just watch it. The big thing is, I'll tell you this right now is every bit of this is consolidation. This is all a literal sideways move. We'll come back through range. And the cleanest reversals, of course, it's right now it's coming back through a solid red candle here. This is one big ass red candle. But it's real wicky in here, right? So it's coming back through. It's not ideal. It's fixing to go short off that rejection there. Short here. Your best reversals come back through these large candles, but your absolute A plus setups will have little to no wicks come back through there. Right. So as it comes back through, I'm making sure it hits these major levels of resistance. It's really nice too when they break it. They break it and they retest, right? Making them support. It's like a safety net. It's a safety net. The retest is like a safety net. So when it breaks that level, say it breaks here, come back to retest it. They try to take it lower and they fail. It's only got one direction going, that's up. So it gives you like a line of sand. And if you know, if it breaks that level, you're going to exit. It's long here. Thank you very much. Nice job. Nice job. Proud of you, brother. Bye here. So we can break out right here. If we break out here, next target will be pivot here, or that wick right there. Long here. Let's see. That cross, can you go through how you come up with targets for this one? It's pre-market break the top. Oh yeah, plateau. Can we go over in the video? Yeah. NQ long here, guys. Target's going to be this wick right here. If we break these wicks, guess what? We're going to go right back up the pivot. Again, target 50%. So we come back to these red candles here. It's choppy, right? We see it chop and come back through here. But when it breaks these wicks here, price can shoot straight back through there. All right. There's less chop because it's a literal solid candle. Second. Okay, let's go back to pre-market. Yes, it's easy. So right here, see the consolidation? Um, there's ways that you can tell direction that's based on these higher lows here. Every time it came close, um, it made a higher low. Right here's that pivot, which is a flat top breakout. What they were doing was they were loading. Every time it got close, they buy. They're buying the dips each time. It came down, and there's another time they loaded up. They loaded up here. They loaded up here. And actually, if you were aggressive, you can take it long right here in hopes that it broke out, right? And it finally broke. And look, every time it pulls back here and takes the high, it's another load. Breaks, long. Every single time. And like we saw this morning, that downtrend, this wave here is it could be the current candle that's moving right now. NQ's fixing to go short here, guys. Short right second. Whew. Short. Now this right here is a pivot. It's a lower pivot right now. We're going to target body wick. And if it wants to, come right back down to here. NQ, here's an opportunity to hop into. I mean, Netflix, if it breaks 212.51, be an opportunity to hop in there. Now, if NQ wants to, it can come right back down to this pivot here. It's short again right this second, guys. Let's not be greedy with it. Gonna be short again, and the current candle's low, so it's just a wave. So the next candle here, let's see what it does. If it breaks this low, it'll be short. Short it here. I'm gonna cancel that one out. I stopped out of that one. I didn't like the way it was going. It was up for about 4 or 5 seconds. I'm still going to look to take it short again here too. If it breaks this support level, we'll target 50% of this wick, and then the low of the wick. That's basically a big red candle there. A lot of times I'll stop out. It'll still go my direction, but I'm not going to sit and hold it. So yeah, it broke. So every time price comes up, even in the current candle, when it pulls back in itself, you'll buy over the high. You'll buy over the high. So this wave is one candle ultimately. And every time it breaks, you take it long. What it's doing is everything, when it pulls back, that's really a pullback. It's a profit taking. It's consolidation. It's also rest. It's the rest it needs before the next move down or up. Right here on NQ, these wicks right here mark a support resistance level. So here it came down, rejected. So in this candle here, the current candle is moving up now, can act as a resistance level. Again, let me show you on NQ. Let's zoom out here. I want to show you something because every bit of this right here that we're looking at is a consolidation, aka chop. So every bit of this right here is a literal sideways move or a consolidation. Now, consolidation is also chop. If the pattern is not smooth, it's this chop. So it comes down. We see it push back up. Right now, it's just a really tight chop. There's plenty of money to be trading in here. There's still 100 points in this range, so still plenty of money to be made. I can tell you this right here. It's safer now if you wait till it breaks this wick here, the tallest wick, which gets you this clean move to 14,183, or you wait till it breaks the lowest wick. Now, if you want to be a little bit aggressive, you can you can enter a little bit early if it takes this low wick out here. Any low wick in this range, the lowest wick. Your target would be 50% of this red wick here, and then the low.
Hey, Jerry, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So going back to the pre-market moves, were you taking a measured move candle from that compound, like all those green candles in a row to actually get the price targets?
Let's pull it up here. Now I was using the 60. So
Oh, okay.
let me clear this garbage out. Yeah, on the larger candles, what I'll do is here's what I do on the larger candles like that come back through. I'll target 50% of the candle, the open and the wick, or the open, the high, or the low, whichever direction it's going to break. And it's easier that way because I know even on the higher time frame, a lot of times it'll go right to the candle instantly. So that's how I get my targets. If you're trading, if you're scalping and stuff like that, though, you can get your target from the 5-minute or the 15. If there's a big candle on the 15, just pull the target from there, but target 50% of it, and then you'll target the open and the higher and the low. Yeah, but you can see, let me pull up the 5-minute here. I want to show you some stuff. Of course, we know that wave is in everything. But there's a couple other patterns too. There's the wave. There's also this, and that's a double top, but it could be in a couple candles. Right? It's important. It's important to know if it's a lower, higher, higher, low. This right here is automatically bearish, just like this right here is a bullish. This is actually trend. This is just candles. These are the wicks of the candles or the tops of the candle. So right now, this one is lower than this one, so it's semi-bearish, but it's making higher lows at the same time. It breaks the top here to be long, but these waves or these patterns and everything, just like in a downtrend, this would be bullish, and that would be bearish. These right here, this pattern can be either wicks, or it could be a pivot, a minor pivot. So if trend's coming down, it could look like a pivot. Let me find something. They happen all the time. Bullish. Bearish. And then we take it upside down. See how that one is taller? Makes it bullish on this side. It comes up. Bearish. This right here is consolidation, just a chop. This is a large chop, it's a 100-point consolidation. It's not safe to hop in. Especially this is major resistance. This I want to tell you this: resistance support is not necessarily a horizontal price, but a range. This entire range here, this is resistance. This is a support level. The entire range is, which means price can come up, push up a little bit here, and reject. Anywhere in this area, it can reject. So of course, it's safer to play this range over the highest or the lowest wick in the range. Just like here, I can say, hey, it's long over here and give you the target to this. Or I can say, you know what, let's take the range as a whole and you're going to enter over the high or the lowest wick. And the reason being, when it takes that high wick out, it does this. And if I say, if it takes the low wick out, it does this. All right, so it automatically makes it bearish. It's just a consolidation. It could be, it can look like this. So this entire pattern here will look like this. It's a downtrend. There's consolidation. And an uptrend would look like this. So I'm showing you groups of candles, but this same thing, even between just a few candles, is the same exact pattern. It's all the same. This candle here is inside the middle one, which is just a consolidation of rest. Just like this right here. If I draw this as a whole, it would look like this. There's a trend. It's trending up. It's sideways there, which is inside the range or the trend, and then it pops up. And it trends sideways, and then it pops down. And then it's sideways again. So it's doing this. It's trending or consolidating, and it moves. So the market only does one of three things. Even this right here is a consolidation. So it does this. It trends, it consolidates, and it trends, consolidates, trends, consolidates. All it does. Oh, that's what market does all the time. Two things: trends or consolidates, and that's it. The consolidation is just the rest. It's just the rest for the next move. I don't give a shit which way it moves. I don't care. All right, you just wait and mark the consolidation, take it higher along. The pivots mark significant support resistance levels, so they're targets. And just like there's minor support resistance in between bodies of candles or wicks, the pivots just mark major ones, the important ones. So it gives you targets. So we're looking at a 5-minute here, but the same thing applies to all time frame. The only thing that separates this pattern is price and time. The pattern is the same exact thing for every ticker, every time frame. The higher time frame the pattern's on, the larger the move. Let's pull up the monthly.
Thank you, Jerry. I'm looking at the 1 hour, which is where you said you got your targets from. So you were saying it's long over the wicks from the previous 2 candles, which also was the candle bodies. I guess it was maybe yesterday too. And then the target was the first highest wick, which became a pivot. And then the next target was the next pivot from like way prior. Is that accurate?
Are you talking about for the day or?
Yeah, I'm talking about on the hourly chart from the.
Are you wanting targets? Are you wanting targets right now or from this morning?
From this morning. I just want to make sure that I'm looking at that correctly. Like that's how you chose your targets.
Yeah, I mean, are you wanting to swing? Or are you wanting to scalp or because it depends. How I show you to find the targets is the same, but you know, if you're going to scalp, I would just look for target 5-minute. It's easier to pull them up on 60, but if you want to dial in, you really need to pop up, you know, a lower time frame. Let me pull up 60 here. Let me zoom out.
Yeah, I was just wondering because you said you chose the targets from this morning's Twitter alerts on the 60. So I went back and was just looking at that to make sure I understood how you got them.
Yeah, so right here on 15, target would have been the high this week or pivot. And I mean, if you're scalping, you know, you can go down the 5-minute. The 15, especially coming back through large candles, you don't want to ever, you know, I'm not going to pick a random spot. It's going to be 15, 30, or 60. And if you're trying to find targets, you may want to just stick with the targets on the 15th for the time being, just to keep it simple. The reason I say that is if you're looking at targets on 60, then you might not see a consolidation, or you might not see a bunch of wicking happen on the 15-minute. That's a place where price can roll over or hesitate, reverse, consolidate, or chop. So it may be easier just to start with a 15 and work up to 60, because when I'm targeting stuff on a 60, I know that it's going to be a large candle, could be possible large move with no hesitation or chop. So I would stick with a 15 to find your targets, just so you can avoid any kind of any chop, really. Just be safer, I think.
Perfect, thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, anybody that's wanting to learn the targets, it went long over this consolidation break here. Just look, you're gonna just look left and up for a long position, and you'll target bodies and wicks. So the bodies and the wicks are two separate targets. Just like now, if this breaks low a day here, I'll step down, we'll target these pivots. All right. And then below this pivot right here, we're going to target this big ass green candle, but we'll target 50% of it, the open, the low. So if you're coming back through large candles, you want to break it down to 50%. 50% open, low, and then body, and then wick. And say it breaks the low of this pivot here, and we're going to target this big candle here, but there's a pivot here. So there's a pivot right here. Pivots will be individual targets as well. So if you're looking down or up or left or whatever, looking for targets, and you see a random pivot, that's a target. Now, if that pivot happened, if the pivot's back over here and it's marked, but it's not marked currently, I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it at all. Sometimes there'll be pivots that marks back several weeks. If it's not running or it's not previous or recent, don't mess with it. Everything's chopping now. Of course, we just had a big, huge move, so it's chopping. Right now, if NQ can break 14,134, it'll be long. Let's see what this current candle is here. 14,134. Yeah, so 135. It'll be long. We'll target 50% of candle, so 158 and then 183. All right, so now we're trying to break consolidation. We're 25% above the base. So remember, best trades come outside of consolidation. It's marked off that high wick there. Right there. And the low. So it's a literal sideways move. Here's the day's range. All that's literally inside of it. Now, your entry is going to be as soon as it crosses that wick right there. We're after 1040, so now you got to worry about a little bit of chop. It is making higher highs here and higher lows, so we are in an uptrend. So when I'm looking at this thing, I'm making sure that it continues to make higher lows. All right. See what it does. Pull back to retest breakout area. So see it's doing this. So when it breaks the high current candle, be long again. Again, we're going to target 50% pivot. And then we'll target open or the bodies and the wicks all the way up through here. Long here. It's after 10:32, so yeah, keep that in mind. When choppy chop comes out. If you've made your money today already, turn your screens off, walk away. BA's long right here, guys. If you're in it, it'd be a good spot to add to it. Watching Amazon. If Amazon breaks 3111, It will be long as well. AMD breaks $96. It'll be long. Target will be 96.50, 97 high day. MQ breaks high this current candle here to be long. So it needs to break 14,145. If it breaks this low, this candle right here, it'll be short right there. And target will be 92 and 80, 14,080. The reason being that it would be short is because it changes trend. So when it takes the low of this candle out here, it makes it a little up. Netflix, what? It's freaking they're starting to push back up currently. Zoom is long. ZM long come back up a large candle here. Facebook's having major problems. PayPal is long. All right, waiting on NQ here. Let's look at Zoom. It's just a consolidation break top side, guys. All it is after made a higher lows. Gonna be long again in a split second. So it looks like it's right here. Here's the day's range. Here's consolidation. So all this right here is consolidation. It breaks out. It retests it there. So it's long over this candle wick here. It's making higher lows. Every time it breaks the high candle here, it'll be long. Again, this is one big ass red candle to high day. From high day, we'll target pivot, gap fill, next pivot. Watching Tesla here. Tesla's not broke yet, fixing to. BA's long here. Right here's consolidation. It's all sideways there. It's starting to make higher lows. Right here. That's back in the uptrend. It goes long over this wick right here. Now, if you want me aggressive, it goes long over that wick. Safer over this one. The key is you want to take the reversal as low, as close to the bottom as you possibly can. And when it breaks that wick, ideally it breaks and come back to retest for pushing up. At that point, you'll take it over previous candle's high. And because the pivots are magnet, first target will be pivot. And then we'll ultimately target open high day. Right, so there's Tesla breaking right this second. I want to show you this stuff where it happens. NVIDIA will be next. That's a beautiful thing about having the flex grids up. There's always going to be some that lead the break and some that lag. Here's NVIDIA. It triggers over this wick right here. Now it is bullish currently because it is making higher lows. So right there. If you want to be aggressive, it does go long over this wick right here, but your target's only this wick right here. Right. So it's safer to wait. You want to wait till it breaks this wick here or the lower day. Right. Because this could be a compound 2 consolidation and then another 2. So it could be a 2-1-2 down. It could be, after this big move down, it could be a rest for the next leg down. NQ short right this second, guys. Always wait on confirmation. Remember, if you want to be really safe, we just wait on the retest. All right. So say it breaks this candle here, you wait till the candle closes above it, and you get a pullback or a retest. So what was resistance is now a support level, and you'll enter over previous candle's high. And I can tell you this, it's after 10:30, so the market goes to shit. Volume and momentum decreases. All right? So that's why it's important. If you made your money before 10:30, you turn your screens off and you walk away. Looking at BA here, still pushing back up. Super clean move, just like Zoom. Remember, the best trades come back to these large candles. The price action is clean. It blocks out all the noise. Right off the bat here, here's the largest wick in that range. This right here is all consolidation. So let's look at it. Breaks out there, pulls back. The next entry was right here. Right? So when I called it, it just broke this wick right here and retested. So it went long, right over that wick. Target's going to be pivot, of course, and then we'll target the bodies in the wicks, high day. PayPal. Test is long right here, guys. So we're looking at PayPal here. First off, big red candle. It's the compound too. This is also the day's range here. Right here. Consolidation. Just draw from here to here. Now there's ways to hop in these things early again. Right now we're waiting on the break of this thing right here for next entry. You can add to your position. You'll target the wicks and the bodies. All the way back up to open high day, open go. And then you'll target pivot, gap fill, next pivot. When you're taking these breaks or reversals, all right, first off, you want to make sure that price is at least 25% from the base. Okay, so price needs to be at least 25% from the base. From there, you want to find the strongest support resistance level, depending on the direction. All right, so you want to be, remember again, you want to be close to the bottom, because if you start taking a reversal up at 50%, I mean, most of the move's done. Secondly, it's a fib level. At that point, it could hit 50% or 61 and turn around and reverse. So you want to find the strongest support resistance level from 25%. All right. And you're going to enter over the tallest wick in that range, which is be here. So you'll enter right over that wick. As soon as price crosses that wick, you're going to enter. Now, it serves two purposes. First off, it takes a lot of strength to break this support level, which would be resistance. And you can see here, when price came up, it touched it once, twice, 3 times. All right, finally broke out. Now, again, there's other levels you can hop in earlier if you want. But the beautiful thing about that is consolidation. All right, it's a consolidation break with rules. It takes a lot of buying to break to that level. The wick, same thing. The wick is a hidden level. It takes a lot of buying to break to that level. And the most important part is, if price breaks this resistance level, not only does it run stops, but if price decides to pull back, your stop's right on the bodies, just 30 cents below the bodies. So it gives you extremely tight stop. It goes or it doesn't. And if it starts to pull back through there, you just exit for a small loss. Every time it pulls up, consolidates, and breaks again, you can add to it. All right, so 25% from the bottom or the top, strongest support level, and then you need to enter on the tallest wick in that range. Your stop goes on the bodies minus 30 cents. Remember, price expands. And I'll show you right here. So right here, you would entered over the wick. And if your early entry would have been here, let's see how that wick, see how the wick expands below that a little bit? It's expansion to the downside. If your stop was horizontal, you would have been stopped out. So your stop goes right below the bodies. Come on in, Q, give me my money. Zoom's starting to pick up here as well. Tesla pushed up. NVIDIA broke out as well. Right here on Zoom, the next entry is over these wicks right here. It's just a consolidation break. It's going to be longer 107.70 if you're not in it yet. Crowd is long and break retest, come back up a huge candle, guys. Crowd is a A++ setup here. It's like PayPal. Big candle. Now, Amazon hasn't broke yet. Same setup though. So let's look at it real quick. DE's long right now as well. DE's a monster on the higher time frame. They're buying the dip. They're buying it up. All right. Longer these wicks right here. The tallest wick in the range. It's bullish because it's making higher lows. So right here, remember you can get direction of break based on the highs and the lows. Now, if you want to be really safe, you'll wait on it to break this range here, and you can wait on a retest. Right? So you want that resistance to act as a support level. Your entry's over the previous candle's high. Again, this is one big ass red candle. That price can come through there very quickly. Came in Q long here. I'm being a little bit aggressive with it. Let's see what she does. All right. VIX coming down, bringing the market back up with it. SPY's long right now, targets high day. BE, just drag your stops up on that, guys. Starting to show a little bit of resistance up here. Still making higher lows. Stop should be at 185.70. I think I'm fixing to call it. Market's starting to chop here. It's not safe. The market just it's at a point where it's not safe for anything. Make sure you are using hard stops for sure. Take a look at Netflix here. Had a big run down. This one is starting to pull back up. It can be selling off. So let's look at the 15 here. Anytime it breaks the day's low, of course, it'll be short. But let's look at it. Big sell off. Remember, green can be profit taken. It can do this right here. So there's a way for the downside. I don't see anybody buying this damn dip to pull it right back up to add it to their portfolio. This thing's in major shit show trouble. So when I'm looking at these things right here, I'm looking at major resistance level support. So right off the bat here, there's resistance in between these two candles. It's currently acting as resistance. So it looks like this. It pulls back. It comes back to that support level. It is starting to reject off of it. If it takes this candle here, if it breaks below this candle right here, it'll be short. You'll target the bodies in low a day, right? And they continue to sell off, of course. So if it can break 219, it'll be short. You'll target 217, 215, 212.51. On that note, guys, I appreciate y'all very much. It's been a pretty damn good day. Can't complain. Be careful out there. Oh yeah, before I go, I started sending out messages through that private Twitter and Discord. I'm doing both right now, just until we can. I want to make sure everybody can get them. I want everybody to get the alerts. If you prefer one way or the other, let me know. I want everybody to be on the same page. Of course, it'd be nice to do one. I'm still working on the text thing. The text worked pretty damn good, but execution was so slow. I like having everybody on that one page. Text, sometimes on social media, I don't see them immediately, but when somebody sends me a text message, I get it instantly. I still think that's the way to go in the long run. But until I can send a message and hit the button, everybody gets it instantly. I can't. It's not productive. When you're trading these things, a few seconds matter. Now I try to send a message or the alerts out at least a few minutes before, at a minimum, so you can be prepared for the break. But I'm working on it. So if anybody's got any suggestions for iOS, let me know, please. Discord best. Have a great day. Awesome. I'm proud of you guys. I'm really proud of everybody here. Tell you what, XGen, the guy makes his money every day in the morning. And that's the thing. If you guys get done with if you make your daily go, I don't care if it's in the first minute of the day, turn the screens off and walk away. Thank you guys. I appreciate you, David, Jenna, and Jason. I appreciate every one of you guys. So on that, the market's starting to chop. The entire market is, or what I'm looking at anyways, just chopping sideways. It's consolidation. And again, after that big move we had to the downside, it needs a rest, and that's all it's doing. It's just resting. But I want to say this: Bob is in major trouble. Every morning, this thing seems to gap down. Now, Baba would be a good swing here too, guys. You can buy one out of the money. It's coming down. It's an A+ setup here, making higher or lower highs. Come back through a large ass candle. Remember, if this is a weekly chart here, but if this pattern's on a 5-minute, it would come straight down to the open of this candle, which would be $80, all right? And then the low, 73.28. Remember, the only thing that separates these patterns is the price and the time. We know this damn thing works like clockwork. On the 5-minute, it works on a weekly, and it does. It works on every time frame. So really good setup. This thing's been gapping down almost every single morning. It does swing quite a while, so you kind of have to set it and forget it, basically, because it'll push up at the open. It'll gap down or push right back up, and all of a sudden start to sell back off later in the day. But it's in a major downtrend here. Another thing is on NQ, we've been in a downtrend, and you got to remember, yesterday we had that big green day, but there's green days and downtrends. Right? So just because we see a big green day, don't mean we're going back to the top. All right. Now, if it's going to keep pushing higher, first off, we want to see, pull back to the top side. Right? We want to see it continue at higher highs and higher lows. If you look at NQ on the 4-hour, it's still chopping, right? Now we can play this damn thing all day. But the big moves happen outside this range. So again, it needs to break the high of this candle or the low of this one. We look at it, let's push it down, and then it consolidates. That's what it's doing now. It's just resting. The good thing about NQ and these bigger tickers is they're priced so high, it takes real money to move this thing. That's why you get these cleaner moves. So here, pushes down, now we're consolidating. Now, it either continues lower or we get a reversal back to the top. And until it can break this damn pivot here and really, we need a pullback. I don't care if it touches the pivot or not, but we need that pullback to the top side. So we need higher highs and higher lows for confirmation uptrend. Again, it can do this, guys. It can come up, it can pull back, and then shoot back up. So it'd be a cuff and a handle. Now, if it starts breaking this wick right here, and we get a retest to the downside, it'll eat this candle right here up very quickly. So right now, we're at a pivotal moment when we're getting close back to the middle of this damn range again. So keep that in mind. But it is what it is. We just play it by ear each day. And man, as long as it keeps feeding us, I don't care which way it goes. Frankly. But when they get close to pivots, you know, it's a time you step back and you kind of wait on confirmation and move. So I appreciate y'all very much, and I will catch y'all in the morning. If I see anything, I'll send out alerts. Thank you.